Hello guys, it's James, and I'm back for round one betting tips. Thank fuck, opening round is over and we're ready to go straight into round one. 9 games of footy. Fuck, how painful was that? 2 games of footy for the whole weekend. And not to mention it was Thursday night, and then no, the Thursday night, sorry, was cancelled. It was Friday night, then nothing to do Saturday, and then footy finally on Sunday. Like, oh my god, it was just a drag. Thankfully, at least we won half our bets, 1 out of 2. But this is a great time to remind you guys the bets that I do, like all you guys have been listening, watching before should know this, but all the bets I do are 3 to 4 legs because a lot of the gambling, the bookie or the brokers, bookies, a lot of the bookies, Ladbrokes, Neds, Sportsbet usually have a bonus back thing for a 3-leg same game multi or something equivalent. So I like to use Lads and Neds because they have those promotions like every week. So I'll do a 3 or a 4-leg, and if one leg fails, you get a bonus bet. And because one leg failed in our Collingwood GWS game, we're going to use that bonus bet into the first game of round one, which is the Carlton Richmond game on Thursday night. So we're going to be going into that game with our bonus bet and a $50 bet. So we're going to bet the same thing twice. One, because we're using the bonus bet and it's the next thing I want to use it on. Two, we're using actual $50 because the same promotion is there. So if one leg fails, we get a bonus bet. So obviously I'm confident in what I'm betting on, so I'm happy to do the same thing. But if one leg does fail, then I'll use the bonus bet for that for the Friday game and so on. And you got to be careful because it's not one. I don't think it's one per game at the moment. Like, it might be one per day. So then maybe you use Neds, or then maybe you use Sportsbet. So you don't have to fully I got to download all the betting apps. Like, you only probably need, I just use 2 and it's enough for me to get what I need for the bonus bets and stuff throughout the week. So yeah, great time to remind you guys, bonus bets, like this, it's just a huge like security factor, because the whole point of remember the bets, like the amount of bets that you have to win. I'll get that up right now, one sec. There it is. So you remember the bets that you have to win. We usually always go for the $3 to the $4. That's 3 games a week we have to win to break even. So remember, if there's 9 games and we do $50 on each one, at $3, we only need to win 3 to break even. Now, if you introduce the bonus bets, the one that we got from last one, or the GWS Collingwood game, if we put that in the Thursday night game, just say that wins, and so do 2 others for that week, we're already positive because we've flipped the bonus bet and 3 others. So it's super handy. So you can win 3 games and like a bonus bet here or there to actually make a profit. So that's why you'll see in all the bets I do, I really go for the $3 to $4. I love that target of only needing to win 3 a week. I mean, if you want to, try and, it's up to you. I don't really like anything too much shorter. Like, sometimes I'll go for $2.50 or $2, but yeah, I rarely go past $4 or $5 if, unless I'm super certain on someone. Like, I'm kind of kicking myself. In the last video, I suggested Sam Wicks, and I was too nervous to bet on him. He looked great. He just locked down Nick Watson, barely touched it, and he got 15 posies. I think he got 16 or 17. He was $2.75 when I recommended him, and then he was suspended. So I don't know if it was the same for you guys, but I couldn't bet on him right before the game. So I'm not sure if a lot of late money went onto him, or the sports betting places were just unsure about him. But yeah, they took him off. And the same with Isaac Quaynor. He was like $1.70, and I was like, I don't know. That small halfback role looked pretty good. So we might remember those picks for this week. But I'm going to go through our bets that we did for the week. So hopefully I've gone through everything, the betting odds I used, the strategy, the bonus bets. If you have any questions, please just leave a comment or something. And also, I appreciate all the comments, the thumbs up. Honestly, thank you so much for the thumbs up in the last video. I was super nervous, and because I hadn't done a video in ages, and I feel like I was talking super slow, or just, I don't know, a little nervous. But now we're back on track. And thank you for the thumbs up, the comments. It's nice to see other suggestions, or oh, who do you rate here, or thanks for the video. It's fuck yeah, I get a huge kick out of that. So thank you. So our first bet of the night was the Sydney Hawthorn game, and holy shit. Oh, again, if you're new here, the first half of this video is where we review our bets, because, you know, you got to learn from them, what went wrong, what worked, and then we'll go into the actual bets we're doing for the next round, because it's the only way to take accountability. You got to know what you do and try and improve on it. I'm not just putting bets out there and just dusting my hands with that. Well, you guys deal with that shitty bet. No, even I'm pretty sure last year I got 0 out of 9 at one time, yet I still own up and I say what we learned and what we can do better. So all a part of it, because you're never going to win. Like, you're never going to win this every bet you place. Never, ever. So, yeah, you just got to learn what you can take for next week. But anyway, I digress. The Sydney Hawthorn game, everyone there was fucking great. The standout, as you guys probably saw, Carl Amon, holy shit, he looked so good. He got so much of the footy. He could just run, like, just the length of the ground. There was a play where, I swear to God, like, I know the goal he kicked, but there was one where he got it from, like, you know, half back, and then he's still running with the play. Like, I think he might have only got like one possession up the chain, but he gets it down in like the half forward line, so it goes out of bounds or something. But geez, he can run. He wants the footy. He wants to be the distributor. Yeah, Carl Amon was fantastic. So we got him for, I think, $1.50. I think he might have blown out to $1.60 close before the game, but yeah, he was $1.50, I'm pretty sure. Jack Scrimshaw was great. It was really good having Tom Barrass and Josh Battle. I said that in the last video. I was kind of confident Jack Scrimshaw is still going to get a bunch of the footy, because he doesn't have to be that big burly defender throwing fists everywhere. Like, you never really want to bet on a lockdown defender for posies, like Harris Andrews, Darcy Cameron. You want the defenders, like we kind of learned this week. The small forwards look pretty good. Small backs looked pretty good. Anyway, you want someone who's going to get the footy. Justin McInerney, I thought he was going to have much more of a role on the wing, but he didn't. He was playing a bit half forward, and then he'd come around to the ball. But fuck, that first and last quarter, holy shit, we are so glad we got bailed out by his third quarter where he got 10 posies. He looked great in that quarter. I don't want to rule him off. Usually, like, if someone gets 0 posies in one quarter, that is like big warning signs. Like, I don't know how you can play, you know, half an hour and not touch the footy once. So a little bit to just keep in the back of our heads, but, you know, he still hit the target. He had a great quarter. And Sydney were, like, you know, playing against a really good Hawthorn team. So I'm going to give Justin McInerney, you know, another... I'm going to keep rolling with him. He was great last year. He still hit the target, obviously. Yeah, we just want to watch out. Tom Papley for a goal. He had that really good snap. You know, when that small forward breaks through the pack, gets it, snaps it, bang. Fantastic. Apart from that, you know, not much else. So we're going to take that. But I'm still very bullish on Tom Papley for a goal. Had a scoring shot every game last year. So, yeah, still pretty bullish, even though he didn't have that many opportunities. The next game, the GWS Collingwood one. Oh, fuck. Don't get me... I'm sure all you guys feel my pain for this one. Harry Perry... Oh, well, we're going to get to the pain in a second, but let's go through the positives. Harry Perryman, fucking fantastic. I have a little notes thing that I write sort of who to watch out for 15, 20, 25 in a little separate thing. And Harry Perryman, I was like, I reckon he can get 20 this year, but we're just gonna be tame, be cautious. We're gonna go for 15. Fuck me. I think, what, you have like 10 posies in the first quarter or something? I'm like, holy shit, he would have been very good for 20. So, you know, we'll take our learnings. You know, 15 seemed very easy. He's probably going to be paying $1.01 next week for 15 posies. So we're going to have to, do we back him for 20? At that rate, yes. Like, even though Nick Dacos played half a game, I can't believe that. That's so crazy. And like, I don't know if you guys listen to SEN, Kane Corns was saying like, Dacos was like underprepared, hadn't, like, how can you go out there round 1 and round 0 and cramp up halfway through a game? Like, yes, I get the early rounds, you get cramp, but one of the fittest players to play half a game of footy, well, he played the whole game, but fuck, he looked shot. I think he got 2 posies since where he cramped up like 4 minutes into the third. That is fucking wild. So anyway, let's hope he doesn't get cramps next week, because otherwise he would have been a certainty for 25. And, you know, still probably the best player in the league, but just super frustrating. Like, and I know it was hot and like, I know all the excuses, but like, man, especially when like he looked amazing early, like that first centre bounce, and he just ran out, got the footy. I thought it was on there. Harry Himmelberg had us a little worried, but he didn't have as many kickouts as I was hoping. I thought he would have second most behind Whitfield. I think it was actually Lockie Ash, Whitfield, then Himmelberg. But he had 4 kickouts, played on every time. So there's his 4 free posies. And he didn't have, like, he had a couple of intercept marks, but he went with the fist a lot more often. And I think they said it on the broadcast. Harry Himmelberg usually goes for those marks, but he went for the spoils. So I bet on him thinking he would take a lot more intercept marks. He didn't, but he still got the footy. He had a really good third quarter where he got like, I think 9 posies. He was on 7 at halftime, and then I think he got to 16. So again, kind of like Justin McInerney from the last game. A lot of those players, you know, that we bet on and stuff, you sometimes rely on like a big quarter like that. It's good that those players can have a big quarter and you never write them out, but yeah, it was worry signs early where I think he got 3 or something and just wasn't looking anywhere near it. But once, you know, GWS had a bit of the momentum, and surprisingly, a lot of the backmen still had it. Connor Iden got 15, Lockie Ash got 20, Whitfield 25, Himmelberg 20. So a lot of the backmen got it, and they could really distribute it better, chip it around, waste a bit of time. So, I haven't even mentioned Finn Callahan yet. Holy fuck, what a game. Like the way he would just run out of the packs with like all the shoulder strapping and very rigid. You know, like where Chris Judd like runs out of the pack and he's just like amazing, but he just looks real stiff. Like Finn Callahan looked a little bit of that, but just fucking amazing. So I was expecting him to play well, not that well. I'd never seen him play that well before, like ever. So that was great. Again, we'll have to monitor him because he will be paying a lot shorter next week, and possibly Tom Green will be back. So there's someone else to steal a bunch of footy, and we'll be getting him at shorter odds. So we just got to be careful with Finn Callahan and not get sucked into the trap like, whoa, he had an amazing game. Yes, he had an amazing game, but he versed a tired, old, slow Collingwood and had so much of the footy. And then when you add another gun to the GWS midfield, just be careful. So Finn Callahan was great, but let's not jump on him if he's too short next week. Anyway, that's the recap of this week. I'm going to go into the bets, but I'm going to be in Geelong. I'm staying at my mum's for 2 weeks, so I'm flying down in the morning. So I just want to do the first half of this video, but yeah, the next 2 weeks I will be in Geelong. So the videos might be a little bit different, but yeah, we'll go from there. Anyway, peace. All right, I'm back. I'm at my mum's. Excuse the setup, excuse this setup, everything. I forgot my scenes. I've quickly put this together. Sorry this video is so late. I hope I get it out before the Geelong Freo game. I'm going to review the Richmond Carlton and the Hawthorn Essendon game in my next video, but just a quick little thing. Jaden Short went missing after halftime. He was on 14 at halftime, looked great. Gone, and then Jack Scrimshaw gets fucking broken nose, concussed, whatever the heck. So we got our money back because every other leg hit. But how crazy is that? Literally, since opening round, like there's only been 4 games of footy. 2 of them have been injuries. Dacos, Scrimshaw that have cost us, and then the other one, Jaden Short, goes missing. So it's like, bring it on, let's go. Already 50% of our bets have failed because of injury. So it's out of our hand, but you know everything else is looking all right. So let's quickly get into this. I hope you guys can see. I've kind of just had to do a little temporary setup. But yeah, anyway, I want to pump this out. Geelong, Freo. Zach Guthrie, I really like. He seems to have locked his position down back. Stewart took like 68 kickouts last year. Guthrie was second on 64. And then Mitch Duncan was third. So, you know, Mitch Duncan is an emergency, you know, not playing at the moment and everything. So, yeah, I really like how Zach Guthrie's going. One sec. I'm back. Tom Atkins playing in the mid. He missed his last game. Look, I'm not super confident on him, but out of the options available, I would like Tom Atkins. Lawson Humphreys, who I like. I just want to see just a little bit more consistency, but obviously he's only played, I think, 12 games or something. Looks great, half back. Very tempted to highlight him. I just want to watch. But yeah, I think he's pretty much ready for solid 15s, but I'm more confident in Zach Guthrie at the moment. Paddy Dangerfield, who would have ever thought you'd get him for $1.36 for 15 posies? But, you know, obviously anyone who's watched the games, he's going to be playing forward. I think he got maybe the second least CBAs in the Pracky with maybe
3, 4, 5. It was very low, and he only got like 11 posies. So I need to see a bit of Dangerfield first. Like, this is definitely the decline. When I'm betting on people, I kind of would rather up and coming odds. Speaking of, Ollie Dempsey, 9 out of 10, looking great, named on the wing, and even when he plays like sort of wing, half forward, still gets a lot of the footy. $1.50, I think that is great value. Oh shit, I forgot to. There we go. Sorry, my bet. Yeah, I've got Zach Guthrie, Ollie Dempsey, Jordan Clark, Shannon Neal. So yeah, let's go. I'll get through the rest. Max Holmes, who I really, really, really like, but he's just under $1.20, so I would rather him go over $1.20. But yeah, whether he plays halfback, whether he plays mid, whether Bailey Smith, is taking more of, like, I don't really necessarily care where Max Holmes is playing because he still gets a lot of the footy wherever he plays. Bailey Smith, speaking of, hasn't played a real game of footy in 1.5 years, so let's just watch for now. Let's just watch him. Hopefully he gets back to it. Looks good. I don't want to have the stress of, come on, Bailey Smith, get 20, like when he's just in his first game back. I'd rather see him, just get a casual 15 and just rest him, just ease him back into it. Let's not bet on someone who hasn't played footy in that many years. And he didn't play a pracky match too, so, he didn't play the official pracky match. He played one of the scratch matches. But yeah, let's just wait and see on Bailey Smith. Jordan Clark, I freaking like. Jordan Clark is usually under $1.20 for 20 plus posi, so I'm jumping on. I have him in my bet. Scrolling down to the 25 bracket, Andy Brayshaw, he was probably my favorite 25 plus all year last year. Consistency and like usually always over $1.20. So Caleb Sarong was always too short. He did have a very so-so year to end the year. But look at that, Brayshaw averaging 31.5, monster finish to the year. The only reason I'm not including Brayshaw in my bet is because I like Shannon Neal for a goal. He kicked a goal in every game last year except the prelim final. So, up against Brisbane, everything on the line. Just if that's his only miss for the year, that's fine. But yeah, a lot of hype around him, especially because no Tom Hawkins, so he'll be playing as the key forward. Jeremy Cameron will still be playing up the ground. So I've highlighted Jeremy Cameron for 15 posies. I brushed over him really quick. He was 11 out of 12 before the buys. So he hit so much, but then after the buys, he was 7 out of 12, almost becoming 50%. So still a great forward option, and he plays up the ground, gets a lot of marks. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to race through this. Sorry. Yeah, Shannon Neal I like. Ollie Henry, who I also like. Ollie Henry, yeah, I like a lot of the Geelong forwards there, but Tyson Stengel, Jeremy Cameron just too short for my liking, so I'm going next best option. So yeah, Shannon Neal to take over sort of that Tom Hawkins role. Brad Close, I've actually not highlighted. He was 18 of 19. Super consistent, like the definition of consistent. And then went 0 of 6. That is... So do we jump on him again? 0 of 6 is insane, like contrast. 18 of 19 to 0 and 6. Anyway, so let's just keep an eye on Brad Close, but I really liked him last year. All right, again, moving on. So we have the next game. Shit, I need to open it on my other tab. I have, because I can't see it on my little laptop screen. Sydney, Brisbane. So Darcy Wilmot, first time. Oh, who do I have again? I have Darcy Wilmot, James Rowbottom, Will Ashcroft, and Dane Zorka for 25. God, it's so hard to see on my little screen. I might actually open it up on here so I can see as well. There we go. I have it on my other screen so I can see. Darcy Wilmot, first time he's been over $1.20 in so long. Darcy Wilmot has been always under $1.20. I'm very bullish on him for this week, but then we just got to be careful in maybe like a month's time and stuff when maybe Kitty Coleman comes back and, take some of his role there. But for the meantime, it's like the same team as last year. So, Levi Ashcroft is coming in. But yeah, I'm bullish on Darcy Wilmot. James Rowbottom, 10 out of 10. Nothing more to say there. Just does what he needs to do week in, week out. Justin McInerney had us worried last week. He had 2 one-quarter posies. He got 1 posie in the first quarter, 1 posie in the last. Thank God he had like 8 or something in the third quarter. But man, that's a worrying sign. But I've highlighted him again, so I'm keen to ride McInerney. But I found better options, but I don't blame you. Jasper Fletcher, I reckon he will be our best value picker this year. I really rate Jasper Fletcher. Always goes under the radar at Brisbane, and him and Berry seem to have the wing spots locked down. So yeah, I'm really bullish on Jasper Fletcher this year. But again, we'll just see how. Like, there's just other value first. I don't want to jump straight onto him when I'm confident on other players. Noah Ainsworth, speaking of confidence, he is playing more confident. But again, we're just going to wait and see. But I do like Noah Ainsworth, especially for $1.78. But he seems to teeter in that 12 to 14 posi territory. We just need to see if he's ready for that next step to 15 plus. Josh Dunkley. Oh, so by the way, I've updated these odds. It's Saturday morning. Well, it's 11:30 right now. I've had to update all the Saturday, Sunday games because the odds refresh. You never get Josh Dunkley for over $1.20, like Wednesday to wherever his game is. But when it's like game day, Josh Dunkley always creeps over $1.20. So I really like Josh Dunkley. But what has trumped that for me? Will Ashcroft, Norm Smith medalist for $1.28. Bring it on. Let's go. For 20 posies, I think that should be a walk in the park for Ashcroft. I just think he is insanely mature, ready to go. And if there is a Jordan tag, I reckon that is just going to Neil or Dunkley. I still don't think Ashcroft is going to be copying those tags yet, but could be wrong. Warner for $1.32 for 20 plus. Chad is, very consistent. I think his misses were like 18 and 19, so even his bad games, he's very close. Matt Roberts has just been an absolute jet in the half-back line for for Sydney. Looked great against Hawthorn last week, and he has been a very big, he's been a talked about player for Supercoach, so a lot of people have had eyes on him. So $1.35 for 20. You just had to worry about his little fall off at the end of last year. He had a great 2-month period, but I do like Matt Roberts. Dane Zorko though, so the general from half-back, he hit 70% of the time last year, and he played every game. And he's 35 years old. Like, what the fuck? So he played every game last year at 35. Started the year at $2.50 for 25, and then he came down to $1.36. So he has just shot down, and he's just looked really good. 9 out of 10. There's no kitty back. Dane Zorko is playing the exact same role. I am very bullish on Dane Zorko. There's that little injury concern, but not missing a game at all last year. You just gotta be ready for it. And I just think that halfback role is just a great spot for getting the footy. So I'm going on Dane Zorko. Tom Papley for a goal, I mentioned in the last video, just always seems to bob up. I think he had a scoring opportunity in every game last year, and I think he missed twice. Sorry, some of these stats are from memory, but always has a scoring shot, averaging almost 2 goals a game. I feel like no matter who Sydney play, Tom Papley is good for a score. And it's at the SCG. He just needs that one little opportunity, one little crumb. Noah Ainsworth will probably be playing on him, or actually Starcevic is back, right? Just be careful because Brisbane have usually good defenders for small forwards. But again, he just needs that one opportunity to strike. So I do like Papley, but we've gone other options. Anyway, next game. The next game is Bulldogs versus North. What do I have? Again, I won't be able to see it on my screen. I have to look at it on my other little laptop. Sam Davidson, the rookie who got 29 in the pracky, that's insane. And he's playing against North, so let's back the rookie. I was timid on Lawson. I think that's how you say his name. The Richmond number 1 pick. I was I don't want to bet on the number 1 pick for 15. Let's just wait and see. After seeing that game, fuck it. We're going to bet on another high pick. I reckon Davidson, good for 15. Let's do it. Actually, I forgot to even highlight him. Sorry. Let's highlight him because I do like him. I'm obviously betting on him. Jai Simpkin for 20, Colby McKercher for 20, and Libba. So there's not really many to pick from the 15 option. I do like Tim English. I think he had a down year last year. And he's still, his misses were 14 posies. So again, another great, super consistent player. I think from 13, 14 posies to 17, 18. Insanely consistent. But we're just going to maybe hold off for the first game because he's versing Cherry, the number 1 ruckman from last year. So just before I get on the English train, let's just wait one game, especially because I want to see if he's actually going to bounce back from last year or not. So hold fire on English. Bailey Dale, I love off the half-back line. Amazing. Colby McKercher averaged almost 29 posies, and his last game of the year was a miss. and he seemed to just do whatever he wanted in the pracky match. I don't even know where his proper position was. So he would usually play like half back, get some kick-ins, but then he was like moved to the wing. Usually I'm a bit concerned with the wing, but I think 20 for Colby McKercher is no problem. And I think the North Melbourne, just in general, will have a good game. I think North when I say North are going to play well this year, I'm thinking maybe just out of the bottom 4. So I think maybe North will be like, 13th or something, but there's no Bont and Trelaw and Doggies are going to have a hard run. So we're going to see. I think North will get a bit of the footy this game. And speaking of Jai Simpkin, I've skipped over Ed Richards, straight to Jai Simpkin. 10 out of 10 for 20, the captain, right? And looked amazing in the that Indigenous All-Stars game, like maybe a month ago now. Looked great. I just think he's ready for this year. Like I said, North in general will play really well. And I usually would have gone Luke Davis-Uniacke for 25. He was probably my second favourite under Brayshaw for consistency and price. But who we're going to pick instead? Libba. So no Bont, no Trelaw. I reckon Libba is going to go huge at the stoppages. I don't think he's going to be necessarily have an amazing game. I feel like he is just a stoppage beast. And when there's no one in there to sort of take it from him from his own team, I just think Libba is going to go huge. The only concern is obviously he's like one head knock, one tackle away from ending his career. But let's ride him at this point. So $1.65 for 25. And again, I know I said North are going to do really well, but for any team for Libba just to have a field day, it's got to be like one of the bottom 4, 5, 6 teams. And I think this is a great opportunity for Libba to absolutely step up while a couple of his midfield boys are out. And this is like Ed Richards' first game back, didn't play any pracky, so whether he's on his game or not, but I think Libba is good to go. I think Libba had 30 something in the pracky. Anyway, goal scorers, none there I like. I usually like Paul Curtis. There was someone else I like. I don't think he's playing. I picture him in my head, but I can't see him written down. He's from North. Anyway, there's no goal scorers there I like, so let's just quickly go on to the next one. Next one is Collingwood Port. I'm actually going to 2 games this week. I'm going to the Geelong Freo game, which is very soon, and then I'm going to the Collingwood Port game. Wait, was that the one I clicked? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we have for 15, again, sorry this is all kind of just all over the place and a bit sporadic. Jack Crisp I really like let's go through my bet. Darcy Cameron, he is one of the better ruckmen this year. Completely just, when you think of ruckman, you're thinking of Cherry, Gawn, English, De Koning, Nank. Even Lloyd Meek has put his hand up. But yeah, Cameron is playing really well, averaging 16 posies. He's got 22 against GWS. He was, out of everyone in Collingwood who kind of just, fell off, got cramps or just didn't play well, Darcy was still great. Well, and to be fair, there were no Briggs got injured, the opposing ruckman. But yeah, I like Darcy Cameron. Bet on him last year, so I'm good to go. Dan Houston for 20 against his old mob. First game back as Collingwood. I reckon his teammates are going to feed him the ball. Nick Dacos to bounce back, who fucking cost us with that cramp game. But yeah, we don't want to hold grudges. Daniel McStay for a goal, who missed last week. And he's probably my preferred goal scorer when you consider, Membry, and my check's usually too short. Anyway, 15 posies, Jack Crisp. His price is kind of, not too bad for 15, but we can find value elsewhere. Steel Sidebottom, I probably could highlight him. Steel Sidebottom's usually good for 15. Lipinski, Maynard, Howe's taking some more kickouts. Travis Boak, the sort of age factor, could he be sub? Not sure. Bergman, Port Adelaide really rate Bergman. He is in a lot of the social media posts. The club, I just hear good things about him, and he's playing like that half-back. He played a little bit of wing, but he's mostly playing half-back. So I think Miles Bergman for 15 should be no dramas. Again, when I say consistency, he meets that. I'm pretty sure his misses have been 14 posies. I think, his 2 misses have both been 14. Anyway, great consistency. Shouldn't write him off all game. Darcy Cameron, who I've highlighted, 15, who I'm jumping on board with. Dan Houston, like I said, big first game back against his old side. The Hornet, who I rate, there's no butters. I could highlight the Hornet too. There was not many to highlight that really stood out. But I think he's going to have a great year, especially while there's no butters for the first month. So Ollie Wines, Hornet, and Connor Rosie will probably be in the CBAs. Willem Drew, I hope he doesn't have that tag roll on Dacos. But even still, speaking of Dacos, $1.40, 8 out of 10, average 30. He got 21 posies. Actually, I'm pretty sure he got 19 posies in half a game of footy before he cramped up. I'm pretty sure he got like 2 posies after that. So Nick Dacos, playing in Melbourne. I think it's going to be a little warm today, but Melbourne, it should cool off later that night. So I'm hoping just, the Melbourne air atmosphere, MCG, he's back in his home environment. He's hopefully trained and prepared for cramps and stuff. So he cannot cramp this game. All eyes will be on him. But yeah, I think he's going to bounce back. Like I said, huge favourite for the Brownlow. So Nick Dacos is going to hit, he's going to average more than 25. So I'm definitely going to jump on him once he misses. Oh yeah, and I do like Josh Dacos. I think, is he ready to get that 25 posi bracket? I would say yes, but let's just wait till we see him and Dan Houston work together, because Josh Dacos has been thrown in the back line, had some kickouts, was the distributor, but that's literally what Dan Houston's role was at Port Adelaide. So let's just see what happens when they're both playing together for a bit. So keen to watch him. Oh, Jamie Elliott, 10 out of 10 for a goal. Insane. I could have gone him instead of McStay. I've got Willie Rioli, but Dan McStay missed, and someone who misses the week before, that I think what gets me over the line. I don't think Dan McStay is going to miss twice in a row, so that's why I backed him for this game. Anyway, next game is Adelaide St Kilda. There we go. Oh yeah, so this one, where is it? Oh, it's at the top, because I did them out of order. I did Sundays first, and then I realized my Saturdays the odds are updated. So let's go. Neil Bullen averaged 18.8 at Melbourne. Can he step it up? I think so. But saying that, I think he's just too short, because before, I'm pretty sure when he was playing at Melbourne, we were getting him for like $1.30, even $1.40 before he got a bit too short. But let's just see how he goes at Crows first. I do like what he can do, but he's just going to be teetering in that awkward 15 to 20 bracket where he's not going to get 20, but he's too short for 15. So let's hold fire. Mark Keane, I like. I would have bet on him because he overtook Hinge for the kickouts. So Mitch Hinge, really liked. He kind of fell off a little bit last year, in the last month or two. And it's because he had next to no kickouts because Mark Keane was actually taking them. So he took 7 kickouts in the Pracky match. So I feel like he's getting half his posies from kickouts alone. I do like that, but it is against St Kilda. Will they kick enough score? I try and keep the team scoreline out of my head because look what happened against Richmond and Carlton. So that was an insane game. Isaac Cumming, who I've highlighted in yellow because I do like him, had very interrupted years for injury. But if he can go back to his prime, was it like 2021, 22, when he was at Giants and he was playing half back, I think he'll get a lot more of the footy. So highlighted, but just wait and see. But Max Michaelini, I really like. Crows rate him 2. He went 6 from 8 post buys. Great up-and-coming talent. I think he's either 21 or 22, sorry. But there's no Luke Nankervis for this game. Plays a similar role. So I think Max Michaelini will get a bunch of the footy. Really like him, especially for $1.42. Get on board. Jack Steele, he had an off 2023, but he came back last year in 2024. 8 of 9 post buys. And his one miss was 19 posies. So I like Jack Steele, and he's just in the yellow. So for $1.20, I really like Jack Steele, who I've included. Isaac Rankin, who had the most CBAs in the Pracky match, excluding O'Brien, but he only got 18. So I'm like, is he similar to Mark Keane, where he's too short for 15 and not good enough for 20? So let's just hold fire. But James Peatling had 20 posies by the end of the third quarter, and he wants the footy and he can run really well, and he's at the Crows with new opportunities, and he's listed on ball in the followers. And I don't have it written down, but I'm pretty sure he got like 20 posies in the first 3 quarters. Oh no, actually it is there, sorry. Had 20 posies by the end of the third quarter in the Pracky match. So yeah, I really like James Peatling. $1.77, this is the opportunity to... I regret not jumping on Sam Wicks. I regret not jumping on Quaynor. There are a couple of picks who I saw in the preseason who I think were ready to make that leap. This is a player who I think is ready to make that leap, and I don't want to miss the boat on them at $1.77 because I think they could be a player who comes down to $1.50. Like I don't see them as a Rory Laird, a Matt Crouch, someone who would just average 25 plus, or actually a 28, 29. I see him, maybe he's averaging 22, but I think, he's definitely going to increase last year. And he had great games when he was at GWS where he wasn't the sub. Half his year he spent the sub, so I think he can really step up. That's why I've got James Peatling. Jack McRae I've highlighted, just a little too short because, especially, his last year playing in the forward line at the Doggies. Another player like Bailey Smith. Not like Bailey Smith hasn't played in like a year and a half. Jack McRae's at least played footy, but I just want to see him, comfortably get his role. But I have highlighted him because he got like 32 in the pracky and he stood out head and shoulders above any St Kilda player. So I just want to maybe enjoy McRae first. I'd rather bet on Matt Crouch. Although, just be careful with Matt Crouch because he could possibly be a Jared Lyons-esque type player where he gets kind of phased out. But for the meantime, in the pracky match, he got 29 posies and 66% game time. So for the right here, right now, I still like Matt Crouch, but just something to be maybe cautious of in the next coming months. Riley Thilthorpe kicked a goal in every game last year out of his 7 games. I think he was great. Rankin, 10 out of 10. He's getting more midfield minutes. I know he's obviously still going to play in the forward line for a little bit, but let's just be careful of him. Even though I've highlighted him, I like him for a goal, but he's not going to play forward as much apparently. Ben Keys, Rochelle, there's a couple there to pick from. Anyway, Sunday, no, actually that is a Sunday game. We have our second last game, Melbourne GWS, and who do I have here for that one? That's right. So I haven't done the bet yet because I need to see on how the rest of the things go. Lockie Ash for 20. I think he has slightly overtaken my favourite Harry Himmelberg for 20. He looked great. Just someone who was, I think he had more kickouts than Himmelberg last game. And Himmelberg I liked for the intercepts, but he was going more of the spoils. So I'm keen to go Lockie Ash for now. Finn Callaghan, the hype pick. I think he had his absolute breakout game last year, so let's get on him again. Brett Daniels, great small forward, bunch of the footy. Jake Bowie. Sorry, I'm trying to speed things up. Took a lot of the kickouts. I think he had 6 in the pracky match. He's going to share that load with Stephen May. Clayton Oliver for 20. I threw Clayton Oliver in just to get to the $3 mark, but I'm bullish on Clayton Oliver for 25. So 20 is should be an easy thing. Cal Ward, $1.19, old, slow, but he can get 15, no worries. I think his price is just a little bit inflated because of the reasons I said. Could get injured, but yeah, I do like Cal Ward. Daniels, Bowie, again, sorry for speeding through this. I have to leave for the Geelong game very soon. Finn Callaghan, Lockie Ash. Trent Rivers, just be careful where he's playing because Petrarca, Oliver, and Ed Langdon, surprisingly, was playing a bunch in the mid in the pracky. I know Ed Langdon has been a winger for like his whole career, but let's just see. And Trent Rivers can still get some of the footy off the back line, but I still like him, but let's just be careful. Harry Himmelberg, who I like, but like I said, I've chosen Lockie Ash instead. Clayton Oliver, who I really like for 25, but let's just see how he goes first because he had a stinker last year, but I think he's like physically, mentally ready to go this year. Let's see if he can bounce back. Goal scorers, not many I like. The kid with the lid, $1.44. Darcy Jones, I like. Van Ruin too, but didn't he get injured from like a sore back or something in the first quarter? So anyway, last game. Let's go through. Who do I have for the West Coast, Gold Coast game? The 2 coast games. Will Powell, who did I pick? Yeah, I liked Will Powell, but just careful because Noble and Rioli will steal some of his chippies, his free posies in the back line. But for $1.20 for 10 out of 10, and he's still hitting the pracky match, I like Will Powell. Jack Graham, I like betting on him at Tigerland. Why not at the Eagles? I think he'll get his opportunities in the mid. Ruben Ginbey, even though he's 5 out of 10, he's going to be playing in the back line this year. Not necessarily, I don't think, the half-back distributor role. Usually that's Duggan, or even though Duggan played a little bit more on ball last year. I think just Ruben Ginbey in the back line is where he played as a junior. He wasn't quite up for the midfield minutes or the midfield role at West Coast, but I think half-back he'll be a lot better. Scrolling down, Jerry McGovern, who I like, but I've included him for 15, again, just to get me over that $3 mark. He had 10 kicks from the kick-ins alone in the pracky match. So he's just going to feast from kick-ins. And again, I think West Coast will be one of those lower sides on the ladder, but again, we'll see. But someone who gets free posies from kick-outs, I really like. Noah Anderson, who I think will probably lead Gold Coast in their Brownlow voting this year. $1.26, average 29. Yeah, he's been great. I think Took Miller will slightly drop off. He's listed, he'll be playing more half-forward role. I can't really see him getting 25, but again, we'll see. Goal scorers, Ben Long, I find much better value than Ben King. He averages just a little bit less goals. I like him. But Matt Owies, he was one of our preferred picks for Carlton as a goal scorer last year. 10 out of 10. He's now at West Coast. So let's see how he's going. yeah, anyway, I'm going to finish up this video here now. Anyway, that's my bets for this week. I'm going to stop recording because I need to upload this video. Again, sorry for taking so long. I'm down in Geelong for the next week, but I have Friday off next week, so I should have a bit more time to do all this. So thank you for your patience. I'll have a video early next week. All right, see you guys. Peace.